Usually at the end of the year, it's common for broadcasters to do some sort of compilation of the best or the worst moments of the year. Some commentators do a list of epic successes or epic fails, and interviewers do clips of like their top guests, you know, their top interviews of the year and what have you, stuff like that. So I promise you, this time, 2021, we will have something like that, because I'll be a professional broadcaster and professional commentator and professional interviewer. But this year, I thought I'd do something similar, but not for the entire year, but something that's been around for decades, right? So not just for 2020, but something that's been around forever, right? Okay, so let's do that, right? Hello, everyone. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, and welcome to the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast number 161. This is the one about the best definitions of Jeet Kune Do. So as you're logging in, if you'd be kind enough to say where you're logging in from, hit the like button, and feel free to continue doing so throughout the broadcast. If you were catching the final edit video over on the YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell over there. If you enjoy my work and you'd like to support the program, please visit jkdrebel.com, click on the Rebel Gear link, and check out our offerings for stuff like this, the ever popular 4 Tenets of Jeet Kune Do t-shirt, available as a hoodie, long sleeve t-shirt, sweatshirt, and coffee mug, I believe, right? Okay, I love doing that. All right, so, but of course, the best thing you can do is to share this video, spread the word about the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast, and that's another method of contributing. All right, so let's do this. You might have seen the postcard, right? Because I took, it's probably the 3rd time that I've used that postcard, because where do we get a lot of definitions of Jeet Kune Do from? We get it from people who have written books on the art. So, but I took it from other places also. And I think in most instances, I did say where I got them from. I might have messed up on some of them. In any case, right? And this is not in any particular order or what have you. I'm just reading stuff that I wrote down, right? So from Wikipedia, and you know Wikipedia, it's online, so it's got to be the best place to go. So it says Jeet Kune Do, or the way of the intercepting fist in Cantonese, abbreviated JKD, here it is a hybrid philosophy of martial arts, heavily influenced by the personal philosophy and experiences of martial artist Bruce Lee. So that's Wikipedia. In one entry from Chris Kent, this one's a little bit long, so I might cut down on what I'm saying, but he does say we need to get one thing clear at the outset, and that is there's no universally accepted definition of Jeet Kune Do. Saying JKD is Bruce Lee's martial art is merely a statement and not a definition. Saying that JKD is Bruce Lee's own personal expression of martial art is even more confusing, because if that's the case, then no one else could do it except Bruce Lee, right? Calling Jeet Kune Do an idea or a concept is nebulous and does nothing to help an individual understand the art. But Chris does have his own, let's call it personal definition, right? Where he says it's a principle-centered training process to cultivate the ability to express the human body in combative form without any restriction or confinement. We're going to come back to that, because that's actually an important concept there, right? Okay, so now a website called lexico.com says that Jeet Kune Do is a modern martial art incorporating elements of kung fu, fencing, and boxing, devised by American actor Bruce Lee. From the pages of the Bruce Lee Foundation, says Bruce Lee developed an expression of martial arts that was personal to him called Jeet Kune Do. The art uses as its main tenet, use in no way as way, having no limitation as limitation. The techniques and philosophies of JKD can be applied to real combat as well as challenging life situations. Jeet Kune Do consists of physical techniques and applied philosophies and requires the individual to train him or herself to their most cultivated state of beingness, so that when faced with a combat situation or a challenging personal situation, the tools needed are available in the moment and can be executed without thought. Okay, Urban Dictionary says, Jeet Kune Do was founded by the late Bruce Lee. JKD is also known as Junfan Gung Fu, Junfan being Bruce Lee's Chinese name. Jeet Kune Do means the way of the intercepting fist, but even Bruce thought that he chose the name too early. They need to learn how to spell too. JKD favors formlessness, for being formless means that one can take the shape of any martial art. From Century Martial Arts website, Bruce Lee believed that liberating yourself from confining routines while seeking to experience the world was essential. While seeking to experience the world was essential. Formalization and routine have their places in training the body and instilling discipline, but Jeet Kune Do is about transcending these things. In fact, it would more, oh yeah, this is the best part. In fact, it would more accurately be described as a philosophy rather than a fighting style, or perhaps a philosophy that allows the practitioner to be unbound by style. Okay, so they corrected themselves a little bit. That sounds better, right? This comes from Paul Vunak's first book, I think. Those who try to label or classify JKD through cataloging its technical repertoire are misguided. Jeet Kune Do is not about techniques or movements in and of themselves. JKD is concerned with the manner in which techniques and movements are performed. All right, this is from Dave Carnell, the late Dave Carnell, great guy. This is from his book. Jeet Kune Do has a purposeful design, a seamless fitting together of all its parts, and is about speed, efficiency, and directness, keeping these things as simple as possible in the most direct way. From Chris Kent and Tim Tackett's Jeet Kune Do, the textbook. Jeet Kune Do is training and discipline toward the ultimate reality of combat. And the ultimate reality is the returning to one's primary freedom, which is simple, direct, and non-classical. From Dan Inosanto's book, Absorb What Is Useful, Jeet Kune Do for Bruce was not an end in itself, nor was it merely a byproduct. It was a means of self-discovery. In other words, it was a prescription for self-growth. It was an investigation of freedom, freedom to act naturally and effectively, not only in combat, but in life. So hopefully you can understand with my accent or what have you, can understand what I'm saying. And maybe now you're starting to see common themes or even trends within people's definitions, because now stuff like efficiency, directness, freedom, totality, combat reality, real life situations, now you start to see that these things are being expressed by different people, right? In Tim Tackett's latest book, Essential Jeet Kune Do, basically Jeet Kune Do can be described as balanced, relaxed, and functional structure based mainly on Bruce's unique combination of Western fencing, boxing, and Wing Chun. From Joaquin Marcelo's book, Jeet Kune Do Simplicity. The art of Jeet Kune Do is simply to simplify. It is not about adding up with every step, learning more and more sophisticated techniques, but to diminish, to polish. Like a sculptor giving form to his works, making your techniques more precise, faster, and more powerful. Where did I take this from? I took this from Larry Hartzell's Enter into Trap into Grappling book, right? But this is a paraphrasing of something else. Unlike many other martial arts, there are neither a series of rules nor a classification of techniques which constitute a distinct Jeet Kune Do method of fighting. JKD is unbound. JKD is freedom. It possesses everything, yet in itself is possessed by nothing. Those who understand JKD are primarily interested in its powers of liberation when JKD is used as a mirror for self-examination. So that's if you recognize that, it is a paraphrasing of the Liberate Yourself from Classical Karate from 1971, right? Where Bruce Lee adds to what I just read, that JKD is not a form of special conditioning with its own rigid philosophy. It looks at combat not from a single angle, but from all possible angles. And while JKD utilizes all the ways and means to serve its end, it is bound by none and is therefore free. So there's that concept of freedom once again. Therefore, and actually I should have started with this rather than ending with this. Therefore, to attempt to define JKD in terms of a distinct style, be it Kung Fu, Karate, street fighting, or Bruce Lee's martial art, is to completely miss its meaning. Its teaching simply cannot be confined within a system, right? And again, as I said, that's taken from Liberate Yourself from Classical Karate. But here's what's important. Bruce Lee did not write, therefore, to attempt to define JKD, right, is to completely miss its meaning. That's not what he said. He said, therefore, to attempt to define JKD in terms of a distinct style. And that's what's important, because a lot of times, a lot of people read a lot of stuff by Bruce Lee, and then they just cut out the part. You know, it's kind of like on TV where there is something that somebody says and it's videotaped, but then you edit it to serve your own ends. That's what a lot of people have done with Jeet Kune Do over the years. So they'll put this part in, but then they won't put that other part in order to put to, I'll use a popular term, in order to put forth their narrative, right? So what say you? Here's what I'd like you to do for me. Comment with your best JKD definition. So just like Chris Kent has what he referred to as his personal definition of it, where he says it's principle-centered training, right? To cultivate the ability to express the human body and so on and so on. Put in the comments, please, your own personal JKD definition. And if you're just going to throw out some kind of inanity like be water, my friend, or no way is way, please refrain from contributing, okay? We had enough of that in 2020. If you're going to comment on Jeet Kune Do, comment substantively. If you got nothing, stay out of the talk, right? Because just because you have access to, you know, the internet doesn't mean that you should be talking about stuff if you're not going to contribute meaningfully. All right. Okay. So that's it for today. Let me say Happy New Year to everybody before I forget in closing up. Sign up for notifications for when we go live here on Facebook, and subscribe over on the YouTube channels for this, the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast, and also for the Jeet Kune Do dialogues. Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods and on Instagram at Dwight D. Woods. Next Friday, not this Friday, because we're going to preempt Jeet Kune Do dialogues for another week. I feel like I haven't been on Facebook in forever. I miss you guys. But Friday, January 8th, if everything works out, except that we might not be live. We still got to work out the details. But my guest should be Joaquin Marcelo, author of this, Jeet Kune Do, The Way of Simplicity. So we'll be talking about his book and his new video series that accompanies the book. So stay tuned for that. As soon as I have the details, I'll make up the postcard and I'll put it out to you guys. Today is a pastel day. All right, I'll drop that on you. And so I will see some of you next Wednesday for another issue of the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. And then we'll be back regular programming schedule for Jeet Kune Do dialogues on Friday. Happy New Year to everyone. Stay safe. Hope everything's normalizing in your part of the world. Talk to you soon. See you in 2021. Take care. So that they're on the same straight line, because sometimes until people are taught this, there are people who will naturally go like that. You see? So this here, I'm off balance. So this is what I always want. Right? Conversely, this is no good. So it's always this. So you take the body, right? You cut the body, you go down the center line. So you cut the body in half. And you make sure that your lead side, in this case my left side, is always on the left of that center. See, if I go here, I just put my left foot on the right side of center, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So left, always on the left side of center. Right foot, now my right foot is on the left of center. My right foot has to stay on the right of center. So whenever I set up, I'm trying to achieve that.